Welcome to Lisa's Painting Parties. I'm Lisa, your host for our weekly fun painting events. I'm so glad that you're here joining me today. Today we are going to be painting from a reference photo that was taken by Mike Lyons of Michael Lyons Photography. So you can check out the link in the comments there. He has many beautiful images on his site to check out. This is the one that won this week. This one, Cottage, little cottage in the woods here. So we're going to be recreating this photo using acrylic paint on tonight's live free paint session. So this video will also be available for you to reference. If you are unable to paint along with me right now, you can definitely watch this video later. It'll be on the Facebook site, excuse me, and also it'll be on my YouTube channel under Lisa's Painting Parties. So you can watch on both for free whenever you so desire. So I'll be going through how I'll go about recreating this. So the way my painting parties work, for those of you who haven't joined me before, welcome. My painting parties happen every week on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook right here. So if you can see me, you are where you need to be. And how we do it is basically every week on Saturday at noon, I put up 3 options and everyone votes for the one that they like the best, and the one with the most votes is the one that I paint live all together with you on Wednesday. So this image is something that I haven't painted before, so it's also a bit of a challenge for me as well, and I talk you through how I would go about recreating this. I really love painting and I love sharing my knowledge with everyone, and it resonates with a lot of people, which makes me super happy. I am not by any means an expert, so feel free to jump in, and if you have different tips or tricks or different things you want to share, feel free to do so. Everyone has their own style and approach to things, and so I'll share with you how I would be approaching this. Man, I got like frogs in my throat today. I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyways, yeah, so that's how we do it. And then, like I said, the painting and the video is up ongoing, so you can always reference it whenever you want. This is the 88th paint party that we've done, which is very exciting because we are very quickly approaching 100 free paint parties, which is nuts. I started this last year in March, so it was just like fun for just like friends and family, and it just kind of grew from there. So feel free to like and follow and share with anyone who you think might enjoy these parties as well. And if you like this video, check out the other ones as well. And if you are interested in hosting your own paint party, feel free to reach out to me. You can private message me and we can arrange something for your friends and family or for events. If you're in the Greater Toronto area as well, I will do in-person parties too. So just let me know if that's something you might be interested in. Cool. So, like I said, this is the one we are doing today, the cottage in the woods. There's a lot going on, so I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. For anyone who's new and starting out, who might be a little scared and be like, oh my gosh, there's so many things. There's so much trees and leaves and a lot of like specific structures, like this like circle and whatnot. So, you know, so it can be a little overwhelming. But don't worry, we'll walk through it step by step, and I'll again share with you my approach on it, and we will have fun with it. So I'm going to put this over here as reference. I do suggest, if you are joining on along with me and painting with me in the moment, this image I did put as the winning image in a post for yesterday. So grab that image and just have it available to you as your own reference, because even though this will be here as I'm painting, it's harder for you to see. And I know for me, being the control freak that I am, I do like to have things right where I can see them myself, because I might go a little bit too quickly or too slowly, and you want to make sure that you can access what you need to access and see what you need to see when you want to see it. In terms of supplies, what I'll be using today is I have an 11 by 14 canvas board, and this one's from Desairs, and it's just basically like a really thick piece of cardboard that has like canvas glued onto it. So there's positives and negatives to using a canvas board. I quite enjoy them in some aspects, and other aspects are a little bit frustrating, but that's what I'll be using today. For paintbrushes, I recommend having at least 3 different sizes of paintbrushes. I generically say large, medium, and small. The ones that I'm using for my 11 by 14 are a size 10 flat. a size 4 flat, and this is a size 4, but it ends up becoming a really fine tip point. And that's what I like to use primarily. I do have other brushes that I will jump into and use depending on what I have. So if you have a variety of them, just feel free to jump through and use whatever feels right in the moment. It works out fine. I also have paint palette. I have water containers. Acrylic is water-based, and then I have my paint. I recommend if you are just starting off to have at least the main primary colors of yellow, blue, and red. So if you have these 3 colors, you can mix any other color from that. And then I recommend having white and black. So if you have other pre-mixed colors, obviously we're going to be using a lot of green. So you can either pre-mix it or mix it as we go on with the yellow and the blue, or you can, if you have something that's already pre-mixed, that's totally fine too. So I might be dipping back and forth into that as we go. It's really up to your own preference. The paint I primarily use is this Crafters acrylic paint. However, I recently did an in-person event, and I bought some larger paint tubs, and I really like the way they work. So I bought these ones from Michael's called Artist Sloth, and they're called Flow Acrylic. And what I really liked about these paints is that they dry with like a shine almost on them, where the other ones, the Crafters acrylic, dry matte. So it never clicked. Like I never noticed it, to be honest, when I was using my Crafters acrylic before. And when I had painted using these ones, I was like, whoa, my painting's so pretty and shiny. So just as a little tip, if you wanted to do something different, this Flow acrylic is actually quite cool, and it has like a nice shine when it's all done. So that's kind of neat. So it was, I think for this large bottle, it was like $12 Canadian. It was on sale for like $9. So if you're in Canada near Michael's, these nice big bottles, you might want to grab a few of those if that strikes your fancy. You're going to do lots of painting. So I picked a green, but I have like my primary colors in black and white. So I might use some of those maybe, because I kind of want to play with that as well. Okay, cool. So we will get started painting momentarily. Okay, perfect. First I'm going to have a sip of water. Make sure you have a drink with you. And then we will get started. And if you're, oh yeah, and we also have paper towel as well. So make sure you have some paper towel as you go too. So let's talk through this photo and how we're going to recreate it. So in terms of this photo, like I said, there's a lot going on here. So there are many different ways that we can capture this, and there's different styles we can approach it with too. So you can try to go for a really realistic approach. You can go something more abstract. You can go more cartoon. It really depends on what your vibe is and what you want to go with. There's no wrong way, and you can change the whole color palette if you so desire. I'm going to stick similarly to the way this is. I might add some more, like I know there's a lot of like leaves here that have fallen from the trees, but I think I might add some more color in the trees depending. I am kind of feeling the whole fall color changing vibe, but we'll see how it goes as I'm going through it. Often I change my mind as I go, and that's totally fine. But what we're going to start off with, the sky. Now the sky does not look very exciting. It's very kind of like white gray. I think I'm going to brighten it up a bit and actually I'm going to put some blue into it. And I'm just going to kind of splatter it around the back, not worrying too much, because you can see the sky behind a lot of the leaves and everything that's going on. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. And I'm going to put the sky, as we can see it pretty much this part here. I would say it's not really the top half, it's like the top like 40% or so of the canvas. So that's where I'm going to be focusing on putting it. And we're also doing it in the landscape as well. So that's where I'm going to start. And then from there, we're going to build in some of the green in the background. We're going to pop in the structures, and then we're going to continue to build forward. So whenever I paint with acrylic, I always start with whatever's furthest back and I build up. That's the way I prefer to do it. You can do whichever way you want. I just find it difficult if you were to start with something like this to like then try to like get the green without like messing up your lines. You're gonna have to redo it. So to me, it just makes sense to just like pop your background in first and then build from there. So that's my approach. So we're going to do that. Whoa. And drop things in the process perhaps, but you know, that's what happens. Okay. Perfect. So I am going to move this, make that a little bit lower. All right. I think that's how we're going to play it today. There we go. All right. Let's get to painting. I don't know why I turned into Mario. I'm not sure, but that's what happened. Okay. So this blue that I have is a peacock blue. Oh, you can't see darn thing. Look how dark that is. Ooh. No. Just trust me. It's peacock blue, Crafter's acrylic. Hopefully when I'm painting, you'll be able to actually see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to get my white paint. And this one's also just called white. I have it upside down because it's getting quite low. I'm going to need more white than that. You know what? I'm going to play with this like soft body acrylic too, because I kind of want that shine. I'm going to see how that goes. It also comes out differently too. So as you can see, that's the soft body acrylic. It kind of came out in like a clump, where the other acrylic, the dollar store Crafters, was a lot thinner. So that's a difference in terms of the quality of it. Cool. So I'm going to use my big ol' number 10 flat brush to start playing with the sky. And like I said, the sky here is very white, very like cloudy, but I do want to have a little bit of blue in it. So I'm going to play with that a bit. So I'm going to grab paint. I'm going to get quite a bit of white right now. So it's, again, not very exciting because you can't see a darn thing about what color I'm doing. I'm just going to put some white here. And then I'm going to like lightly dab my corner of my brush in blue. Oh my gosh. I think I'm dabbing in, then I'm not. Okay. And I'm just going to put a little bit of dots in places. And now I'm just going to get my white paint and go over it and just do like little like X's, crisscrosses, just play with it. Just like kissing my canvas with blue, but mostly we have white. And then this will just create like a background. So we have a sky happening. Maybe there'd be like a little color variation. I'm just going like back and forth with the brush like that, essentially. Do, 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 do. And it was great to do an in-person paint session recently because there's a few things that I realized that people were doing with their brushes that I hadn't thought of before. It's funny because when you paint, you have your own way of approaching things. And sometimes you don't think about relaying the information to other people in that way because you either think that it's obvious or that everyone's doing it the way you're doing it. And one thing that I noticed that people were doing was that when they were getting their paint from their palette, they were dabbing their brush in. So what they were doing a lot of times was like they were going like this into their paint, like dabbing it. And what happens is you don't really get a really great line on your paintbrush. So what I would suggest whenever you're getting paint, and this is a bad example because there's no more white paint in here, you want to like pull it. So you want to like grab the paint and pull it. So then basically your brush is very flat, like on the side it's very thin like that. And that's the kind of approach you want to take with it. Then you get more paint loaded onto your actual brush. And you get more of a control in how you are blending and using it. You get like, I really like how you can get a really like nice thin line, which is cool. Okay, so bring it down to as far as you want your sky to live. And again, I'm going to need white already. I'm going to go with my big, huge one. Oof, it comes out. I definitely went lower than what I said, but that's all right. Okay, so I have a nice light, it's almost hard to see, like it's just slightly like a sky blue, very light background that we have built in. There's some areas that are a little bit darker than others, and that works out quite nicely and well. Okay, from here, we're going to start building in some of the green that lives in the background. So we have green that lives behind the buildings that we can see here, right? So let's play with that a little bit. So you can do one of two things. If you don't have green, you can add yellow to your blue and you can mix it to get a green. Or if you have a pre-mixed green, you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to put a little bit of this one. So this is the Flow Acrylic Emerald Green that I'm going to use. And it is quite a beautiful emerald green. It's so dark, it's hard for you to even see this beautiful green. Ridiculous. Okay. Get me a real studio. Stop. You can't even see any of the colors. It's ridiculous. One day I'll have beautiful lights that you can see everything on. Okay. So I'm just rinsing off my big brush. And I just use the paper towel just to take some of the excess water off of it. Do I want to continue with my big brush? I think I will. Yeah, why not? Let's play. Let's play with it a bit. I do think I'm going to add a little bit of yellow actually, because I might want to lighten up or play with the green tones. And I am going to put like a touch of black on my palette as well, because I also might want to get a little dark. So let's play with that. Okay, so I'm going to grab some green. I might put a little bit of white in it actually to lighten it up slightly. Ooh, that white made it very light very quickly. Okay, that's fine. So, what are we doing here? We're just going to add some green. So I'm just going to play with it a bit. Get some green happening. So I'm just like touching lightly. My brush has a little bit of white kind of in it and green. And I'm just touching with kind of like this. You go slow. Get a little bit more of the green in there. Just to build a little bit of background. So I know there's like it's land and it's green, shrubbery and trees, and yeah, that's about it. Shrubbery and trees. Plants, I guess. I don't know, just plants in here. Maybe a little bit, I suppose. Okay, so I think I'm pretty happy with this background because we're going to end up building a lot from here. that's a little better. Yes and no. Not really, but that's good. Okay. You have that going on. Okay, so now let's put in some trees already, or do I want to put in where I want those structures? Bam, bam, bam. So we have like this cottage that's very clear, and then we have another structure back here. I don't know if I'm going to add that one in the background. I think I might just focus on this one structure. And then we have like a tree up here. So I want to play a little bit with that tree. I'm just adding like a touch of black to my green. And I'm just putting a little bit of yellow into my green too. I don't know if I like that actually. You know, just keep it more green. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to keep it more green. Scratch the yellow. Okay, so I want to put a tree kind of over here. So we have... So what I'm doing is I'm using the brush, and I'm just dabbing. So this tree's kind of living like here. Maybe it's better probably to put in a trunk. I'm doing it a little bit darker, put some darker areas. So I'm just getting a little bit of black, just kissing it a little bit. Just gonna fill in a little bit behind. I built like a something going on over here. Over here. Okay, and I'm just gonna put in a few like branches, I think. So I have like one that's kind of like here. Okay, so see if I can, oh my gosh. That's what I have over here for this like tree image in the background. Okay, and then we're going to put some more in. We're going to say, okay, there's like a tree that's living over here. About there, more or less. So kind of a gray that I already have on the brush, so I'm just going to use that first. Like that. I'm going to pull some green onto it. Gonna get my smaller brush. And I think I'm gonna go back to my Crafters acrylic. Okay. Okay, so put in some more of these. Let's put another one. The tree back here. Okay, so another tree back there. And do we want to put another one, or do we want to start maybe another one over here maybe? Okay, so we have another tree happening over there. All right, so from here, I want to build this cottage that's here. Cool. So I think I'm going to do it primarily. I am just going to keep it in black, I think. A little bit more. And then I'll add the touches as we go. So for this cottage, use the middle brush. Okay. And so the house or the cottage, we have a line here. It's like the front. And this is just to like place it, and then we will add more to it after. And that's gonna mirror that line there. Try to get them accurate or in line. And there is a slight angle to this. So if you look here versus the bottom, it's almost on par, but it is slightly askew. Slightly askew. Bring this down. Okay, but then we need to make it match on top. So try and draw a triangle, oh my gosh, a rectangle with similar proportions. Okay, and then we're going to bring it up. Now we're going to draw a triangle. Okay, and then we see that it goes back on an angle. And put that on an angle. Okay, it's gonna come up. It's gonna come across. Okay, so let's just fill this in for now. All right. And now we're just going to put in some details as we go. Okay. Little details on the house. Oh my. Okay. Let's have our cabin fleshed out a little bit. I'm just going to put a little bit of blue, I think, up here instead of the red, just to add a little bit more, but you really can't see it too much. Okay. Okay. So from here, I think I'm going to put in some of the ground cover that's here, and then we'll put in some of the trees. So this ground cover, there's quite a bit of green happening again. So I'm going to grab a little bit more of that. And we will add some more ground on here. I think it's my medium, or a medium brush instead of my large one. Okay, and how do I want to do that? I think I'm just going to say, okay, where is the green living? Kind of like all in here. I'm going to go above this a little bit. Okay, we'll just build it. So we have like this one from like a darker green, and then I have a lighter green, and then I've got kind of like a yellow, and I've just been in like layers to kind of build it to make it look a little bit more depth here. Hi Kathy, thanks so much for commenting and saying hi. Hope you're doing well too. Nice to see a familiar name in the comments. Nice to hear from you. Okay. So I'm just putting a couple of different layers of this color just to give it a little bit. It's a little bit different than what's going on there, but kind of digging that lush green grass vibe. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing near this cottage. I'm going to go over the cottage a little bit, like so. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side too. Am I though? I don't know if I'm going to draw that or do that. I don't know. Let's see. I am for now. I'm just going to continue this vibe on both sides, and we'll decide what we want to go from there after. Okay. Yellow. Okay. So we might as well, we can continue on and do the rest of the ground. I think. Unless maybe no, we're going to do the trees first. Let's do the trees. And there's still like lots of branches. We can add a lot more up here in the sky too, or we can keep it as is. It's really whatever you would prefer to do. Okay, so for the trees, I'm going to use black for the trunks. Okay, make sure I have a lot on my medium brush. And then there's this one that's living like here or so. Okay, I'm just going to thicken it up as I go. Okay, now I'll pop another tree in. And some more black. And I'll have another one here. Okay, and I'll have another one. Thicker. So I'm just going to go back, so as I did that one, it got thicker on the top, so I'm just going to make it a little thicker down on the bottom here. There's a branch that's going off that way too. Okay. There's a few little branches on this guy here. Right here too. We'll have more of that going. Hi, Joe. Okay, now we'll get my fine point. Okay, so let's get some finer branches happening over here. This one has a nice scraggly one that kind of goes like wee all the way here. It definitely needs to be a little bit more opaque. So let's add that in. Make it a little less and as it gets closer to the trunk, it'll get slightly thicker. A weird branch going that way. Let's keep adding more branches. Where do you want to go with some of the ones? Look here. There's also some skinnier ones happening down here. Let's add a few. There's another skinny tree. Skinny tree. It does have a lot of trees, yeah. They can be a little scary for sure. Oh, sponges is a great idea, Kathy. You can get a lot of really good texture that way. So I think that's a great idea. Yeah, I was thinking of adding some more like fall vibes to this. I think that would look really nice. add a few trees on this side as well. Okay. Did I get my coffee? My free coffee from the Buy Me a Coffee link? I have got those and I really appreciate it, Kathy. Thank you. Okay, so now I want to put in more of the leaves going on here. So let's play a little bit with that. So I'm going to start with green, and I'm going to do some dabbing, and we'll go from there. Thank you, Kathy. You're the best. I really appreciate you. And then we're going to dab. So. With this, I'm going with the, I'm going to follow a bit with the, where I've put my branches. So now I'll just add a little bit of texture. Yeah, there's a bunch of leaves like that have already fallen on the ground, so I think adding some color to the ones on top does make a lot of sense. A little bit of dabs going on, and then now I think, wait a minute, I want to make a little bit more going on here. I went a little bit too light and I want to make it a little darker. I'm going to add some more. Get some more of that coming out. Okay, so I think now I want to move on to, I'm going to put a bit of yellow. Right, the same thing. I'm just going to put little dabs. But I'm going to be a bit more particular about where these are falling. Okay. Okay, so I want to move down and start putting on all the leaves and everything that's going on the ground here. So there's like orangey, brown kind of colors happening, greens. I'm going to put a little bit of brown. The one I'm using is cinnamon brown from Crafters Acrylic. Okay, and I'm just going to start to play a little bit with adding a bunch of speckles to the base. And more brown. I'm just going to play with these. yellow. Get some red. Get some orange and a little bit too. Throwing in some orange. I'm just going back and forth between green and brown and red and orange and yellow. I'm just filling in all the white spaces I can see. Alternating between these colors to get a nice carpet of leaves on the ground. Thanks, Kathy. You too. Take care. All right, there we go. Need some more brown. I think I want some more yellow. So I'm just using yellow and brown. I'm just trying to fill in all the white spaces that I can see that are left. I'm trying to work a little quickly just so I can kind of blend in, and like the other paints are still kind of wet, so it kind of smears everything into, like I said, like kind of like a carpet of many fall pretty colors. That's working. That's good. Just don't want to see any canvas sticking through. Okay. Carpet of colors, so pretty. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Now, next thing I want to do is I want to put in this big wagon wheel. It's going to live here, but it's still very wet, so I'm not going to do that just yet. But I do notice that there is like a tree that sits in front of this cottage, so I want to pop that in. Oh my goodness. It's just crazy on this brush. This tree kind of lives. It's really tall, actually. It's like here. Okay. Okay. Put that tree right there. And I'm going to add a little bit of leaves to it. Okay. Hi, Jody. How are you? Okay, I think I want to mess up a little bit in here because I don't know if I'm going to do this whole unit there. I don't know. I might like leave that out and just do the red wagon wheel on the front. But I just want to add a little bit more of like shrubbery or something in front of the bottom of these trees because they look kind of weird just floating there. I think I want to add a little bit. Aw. Thank you, Jody. I appreciate that. Just going to add a little bit of shadow where this house lives. Make the greenery kind of come a little bit. A little bit darker over here too. That makes more sense. Okay. All right. So, is it dry yet? Almost. So yes, that's what I have so far. So we have the trees and the cabin or cottage. We have this lush carpet of fallen fall leaves. Cool. And there's like some grass that's like poking out. I'm gonna add a few little, I should probably wait till it's dry, but you know me. Impatient. Okay, so there's a little grass things poking out. Little blades poking out. Okay, so I would suggest using some sort of reference to draw out that circle. It's still super wet, so I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer before we get into that process. Oh, it's been delayed for a while, eh, Jody? I hope you're feeling okay. Okay, so I really want to get started on it, but I'm apprehensive to start when it's still wet. But I'm going to try anyways. All right, so I need to think about what I can use as a guide for my circle shape. And I know my water container is pretty decent, but I don't know if I want to spill that or if I want to. This is not big enough. That base is not big enough. Is that about the same size as that? Yeah, it is. All right, so we gotta think about that. Or perhaps, you know what? I think I do have a geometry kit somewhere that I could use. Yes, there we go. Perfecto. Press. Still sealed? Oh, okay. Alrighty then. So, is that how big I want it? Yeah, kind of. So that middle is going to sit like here. There we go. Cool. And then I guess I should bring it up in there too. Oh no, where's my middle point? I think it's right there. Oh, I see it. There it is. It doesn't, it just hits like right there. Okay, so if I bring it closer, there we go. Cool. Oh, math tools, you are awesome. Okay. So now I'm just going to get red and I'm going to start filling in my lines. And I'm using my thin brush just so I can maintain control. Okay. Definitely still feels thinner up here than it does down there, so I'm just going to thicken it up slightly. Okay. Okay, so we have that wheel shape there. Oh, thank you, Jody. Okay, so now we need it to be a little bit darker. Brown should be our friend. Right, and a bit darker. Black needs to be our friend. Okay, it's working. Okay, and where does this middle part land? So we have a okay, so I don't think that's big enough yet. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, then I'm going to get red. And we need to start building out these spokes. So we got our spokes going on. Technical problems, that's not good. I don't know why. That sucks. Oh, you mean for the surgery or for the painting? Hold on. I'm not actually sure. I feel like you mean for like watching this, not for your surgery, right? Okay. I'm just putting some white just to highlight the spokes of this. And do the same thing on the wheel. Okay. And it's a little lighter on the top. Hi, Trish. Thanks for saying hi. It's always nice to hear from everyone. All right, so that is what I have so far. I think I'm going to stop for now. And I haven't decided, I don't know if I want to put in this ramshackle item that's back here. I don't think I want a feeling it right now, so we'll leave it for now. There we go. Perfect. So there we go. So there is our painting for this week. I hope everyone has enjoyed watching today. Again, this video will be up on my Facebook page under the videos tab, so you can watch it whenever you like and you can follow along. It will also be cross-posted on my YouTube channel under Lisa's Painting Parties. So I hope you all had a great time and enjoyed. And if you painted along, please take a picture of your finished painting and share it in the group, so I'd love to take a look and see it. All right, have a fantastic rest of your week. Bye everyone. Take care.